I'm Eric Meyer, and today my associate Preston Fletcher and I will teach you about the misuses of adjectives and adverbs, as well as the ways that adjectives are used to compare nouns. We ask that you maintain an open mind and stay open to growth so that you can absorb the information that we are about to present. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy learning about SAT grammar. The incorrect comparisons of adjectives. Comparisons occur when a writer establishes a logical or grammatical relationship between two or more similar people or things by comparing them to each other. Usually, a word such as than appears in the comparison, or the ending er or est indicates the comparison. Another name for comparison is a superlative. Let's examine the ER ending versus the EST ending, or the misuse of the superlative. Which sentence below is correct? Sentence A, Bob is the taller kid in his class. Or sentence B, Bob is the tallest kid in his class. Assuming that Bob has more than 2 kids in his class, sentence B is correct, because the ending EST is a comparison of more than 2 objects. Let's try another one. Bob is the tallest of his 2 brothers. Or, sentence B, Bob is the taller of his 2 brothers. Here, B is correct because the sentence is comparing Bob to only one other object, his brother. When there is a comparison of 2 things, the ER ending should be used. So, to recap, the ER ending versus the EST ending, or the misuse of the superlative, the ER ending is used when comparing strictly 2 items or 2 people, whereas the EST ending is used for comparing more than 2 items or people. Let's move on to double comparisons. Let's go through some examples. Which sentence is correct and which sentence is incorrect? Sentence A. The city of Denver is more higher in elevation than Chicago. Or sentence B. The city of Denver is higher in elevation than Chicago. Sentence B is correct here because in sentence A there are 2 superlatives or comparisons. To make this sentence correct, we would need to remove the more from the sentence. Another example, sentence A, I am the most friendliest student in the class. Sentence B, I am the most friendly student in the class. Or sentence C, I am the friendliest student in the class. Again, in sentence A, there are 2 superlatives. This is wrong. Sentence B and C are correct here because they only have one superlative. Another common mistake is making illogical comparisons. For example, sentence A, Irma has a bigger house than her brother. Or sentence B, Irma has a bigger house than her brother's house. In sentence A, it sounds like the house is bigger than Irma's brother, whereas in sentence B, it correctly and clearly states that her house is bigger than her brother's house. Another example, I like going to the art museum more than my best friend. Or, I like going to the art museum more than my best friend does. In sentence A, it sounds like I prefer going to the art museum more than I prefer going to my friend. This is incorrect. In sentence B, I am able to clearly state that my friend does not like going to the museum as much as I do. One last tip. When comparing using as, make sure to use it correctly. Here's the incorrect use. My team is as good or better than your team. The correct use is, my team is as good as or better than your team. You need the second as because without it, as good as is one comparison and or better than is another. Each comparison needs a subject, and the second as is a bridge to compare it with the end subject, so that you would not have to say, my team is as good as your team or better than your team. The second as allows the subject to be stated once at the end of the sentence instead of twice in the sentence.
Now, we will be focusing on the misuse of adjectives and adverbs. But first, we need to understand just what exactly are adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives are descriptive words that are used to modify and add detail to nouns in a sentence. They give important or necessary information. Adverbs, however, are descriptive words that are used to modify and add detail to verbs in a sentence. They also give important or necessary information. You will find that nearly all adverbs carry the ly ending. For example, badly. Now that we have an understanding of what these types of words are, we can begin to learn about the misuse of adjectives and adverbs. First, let's talk about the misuse of adjectives. The most common and frequent example of the misuse of an adjective is the good versus well example. Good is an adjective, while well is an adverb. Knowing this can help us decide which word is correct in different sentences. So now, which of the following sentences is correct? Sentence A. Brophy's football team played good last Friday. Or sentence B. Brophy's football team played well last Friday. In a normal conversation, most of us would say that Brophy's football team played good, but this is incorrect. Sentence B is correct because well is an adverb that describes the verb played. How about this example? He is a good driver, or he is a well driver. The correct sentence is the first one because good is an adjective that modifies the noun driver. Again, adjectives modify nouns while adverbs modify verbs. If the sentence was, he drives blank, you would fill in the blank with the word well, because well would modify the verb drives. Though sometimes it may not sound right, you have to be open to new ideas and trust that you are saying it correctly. Now let's move on to the misuse of adverbs. Although there is not one example that is commonly misused, like the example above, many are misused every day. One example uses bad and badly. Keeping in mind what you know so far, which of the following sentences uses bad or badly correctly? Sentence A. I did not do, I did bad on my English exam, or sentence B. I did badly on my English exam. Again, normally we would say that we did bad, but this is incorrect usage. The correct answer is sentence B, because badly modifies how I did on the exam. It modifies or describes the verb. Let's try a different one. These will be in true-false format. So, do the following sentences have the correct usage, true or false? Sentence 1. I have nearly finished my essay. And sentence 2. Is the park near the school? In both of these sentences, the correct answer is true. Today, we have covered the important concepts of the misuse of adjectives and adverbs, as well as the incorrect comparisons of adjectives. Eric and I would like to thank you for being open to growth and open to new ideas and learning. Eric and I also challenge you to take in this new information and put it to use beyond the classroom. You will improve your English while impressing others too. Thanks for watching.